Dear students, today we are discussing about the new chapter, unit number 7, weather, climate and adaptation. So let us see what is weather. 2 days back we received plenty of rain. It was cloudy, it was windy. Then yesterday and today we have seen that the weather is so fine. That means it was sunny and no cloud was there, no wind was there. That means weather changes suddenly, frequently, time to time. It changes daily. And yesterday morning there was little rain, drizzling. Afternoon it became clear, it was sunny. Sunlight was there, bright day. And today it was sunny, no rain, no drizzling, no cloud, no wind. That means we can say weather can change anytime. It is a day-to-day condition of the atmosphere, and there are some factors that determine the weather. These factors are temperature, humidity, rainfall and wind speed. Relating to this, the weather may change. Therefore, these four factors are called the elements of weather. So the elements of weather are temperature, humidity, rainfall and wind speed. And in last class, one few weeks back, we have studied how to measure temperature. There are different types of thermometer, and mostly for weather reporting we use maximum minimum thermometer. Maximum minimum thermometer is used in weather reporting, and the minimum temperature is usually measured in the morning and the maximum temperature is measured at noon, that we have seen the previous days. Now, humidity means the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. When water vapor comes from the rivers, oceans and lakes, there will be plenty of water vapor in the atmosphere. This amount of water vapor plays a vital role in determining the weather. That means humidity is also an important element of weather. Next is rainfall. Rainfall is usually measured using a device called rain gauge, and it is measured in millimeter. 20 millimeter, 30 millimeter are some of the measurements of rainfall in a day. The maximum amount of rainfall in a day recorded in Kerala was 40 millimeter in Trivandrum last year. And the highest rainfall received in a month is 950 millimeter in Trivandrum in the same year, in August. Right. And I will show you the picture of rain gauge, the instrument used to measure rainfall, at the end of this class. Then wind speed. Wind speed also a deciding factor for weather. Usually a wind speed of 25 km per hour is known to be very strong. It can reach 40 or 60, 40, etc. High speed wind can cause damage, and below 20 is not causing much damage. So these are the elements of weather. Temperature, humidity, rainfall and wind speed are called the elements of weather, and weather is the day-to-day change in the atmospheric condition with respect to temperature, humidity, rainfall and wind speed. Now let us talk about what is climate. How is climate different from weather? Climate is not changing frequently, not changing daily. It is actually the average weather pattern taken over a long period of time. Right. There are four different kinds of weather pattern, climatic pattern in India. We can see these four types of climatic pattern or four types of climate. Now, okay, I will show some diagrams, some data. Okay. In page number 71 of your textbook, there's a table relating to the maximum temperature, minimum temperature, and rainfall, monthly rainfall recorded in Kashmir. When you analyze the table, so all 12 months record is given. When you analyze the table, we can get these points. That means maximum temperature is 30 degrees Celsius in 2 or 3 months. Minimum and 8 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius is the temperature in most of the months. 8 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius. Some months it may be 20, some months it may be 8, or between 8 and 20, maybe 10 or 15. But 30 degrees Celsius high temperature is only remaining for 2 or 3 months. And here minimum temperature. Minimum temperature is most of the months minus 0.6 degrees Celsius to 17.5 degrees Celsius. It may vary from month to month, but this is the minimum temperature recorded in some of the months. Minus 6 degrees Celsius to 17.5 degrees Celsius, the range of the minimum temperatures recorded in various months of the year. And the same year, the rainfall, this rainfall 90 millimeter shows the rainfall obtained in a month. So 90 millimeter rainfall is available in Kashmir only in 2 or 3 months. It may be slightly less, maybe slightly more. Anyway, about 90 millimeter rainfall it receives in Kashmir in 2 or 3 months only. And very low rainfall 30 to 50 monthly is available in most of the months. That means in Kashmir temperature is not so high, and Kashmir doesn't get plenty of rainfall, not too less but not too high also. That means the climate in Kashmir can be called as moderate hot and wet. Moderate hot means temperature is not so high, temperature is not too low. And moderate wet means the rainfall is not so heavy, at the same time it is not so low. This is one type of climate prevailing in one part of India, that is in Kashmir. This climate is called moderate hot and wet climate. This is prevailing in Kashmir. Now let us see another type of climate, just opposite, typical climate in Kerala. Okay, let's talk about the climate in Kerala. Yes, here the maximum temperature in Kerala is 31 degrees Celsius in most of the months, and 29 degrees Celsius in very few months. That means in Kerala it prevails high temperature, and the minimum temperature is almost every month 22 degrees Celsius. That means it is not a cool state. And about rainfall, in the month of May to October, actually starts from April half to October. April and May less rain, but June, July, August, September, and sometimes in October we get rainfall about 250 millimeter. And you know, recently July, August, and September we receive high rainfall more than 300. And as I told you the beginning, in 2019 in Trivandrum it recorded 950 millimeter in October, in August itself, 1 month. Here this is average rainfall. May to October it may be 250, less than 250, and this above, sometimes most of the months it is about 250. And we get less rainfall only in 2-3 months, 20 millimeter to 30 millimeter rainfall. We get less rainfall. That means Kerala gets plenty of rain. At the same time, temperature is high. That means the climate that prevails in Kerala is hot and wet. When you talk about hot and wet climate, it means that temperature is comparatively higher, and the place receives plenty of rain. Such a climate is called Kerala. It's a typical climate in India, hot and wet climate. The same type of climate will prevail in some part of southern part of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, that means South India. Southern part of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and complete Kerala, we can see this type of climate, hot and wet climate. The second type of climate, this is just opposite to the climate in Kashmir. Kashmir comparatively cool, temperature is not so high, it is very less than that in Kerala, and Kashmir receives very less rainfall. We have seen in the chart 90 millimeter was the highest rainfall recorded in a month. Here we get 250 average in these months, May to October. On average, we get 250 in the month of August, and July we get 350 400 millimeter rain. So plenty of rain is available in Kerala, and temperature is high. This type of climate is called hot and wet climate. So we have seen two types of climate: moderate hot and wet like Kashmir, and hot and wet like Kerala. Now we can see two more types of climate, that is hot and dry climate and wet climate. And I will show some charts, some diagrams, some data, and will explain what is the hot and dry climate and wet climate. Let us talk about the climate, remaining two type of climate prevailing in Rajasthan and our northeast India. See here, in Rajasthan, the temperature, most of the months, temperature is 32 degrees Celsius to 38 degrees Celsius, almost every month. But in some months, the temperature can reach 42 degrees Celsius or 45 degrees Celsius. And this is a desert climate because Rajasthan, the desert is there, and it gets very less rainfall, practically no rainfall, and once in a while it receives rainfall, very less rainfall. That means where in a place temperature is very high and practically no rainfall, such climate is called hot and dry climate. Typical climate is prevailing in Rajasthan. Hot climate means temperature is very high, and is dry means practically no rainfall at all, or very less rainfall. This type of climate is prevailing in Rajasthan. And another type of climate, wet climate, it is prevailing in northeast India. Northeast India comprising of 7 small states: Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, etc. are some of the states in the northeast. Here, most of the months these states get rainfall, most of the months, but not as heavy as we get in Kerala, but they receive rainfall in most of the months. And Assam is just like Kerala, they get plenty of rainfall. And Cherrapunji, the world famous place where the which receives the highest rainfall. This is a place in Meghalaya near the capital Shillong, right? So this is a different type of climate prevailing in northeast India. A wet climate. Wet climate means a place where it receives plenty of rainfall throughout the months, throughout the year. Every time, anytime it can rain. This type of climate is called wet climate. And because of this wet climate, plenty of forests are there. The famous Kaziranga National Park is in Assam, which is in northeast. So we have discussed the 4 types of climate so far. Number 1, moderate hot and wet climate, such as the climate in Kashmir. Hot and wet climate, such as the climate in Kerala. And now we have seen here hot and dry climate, just like the climate in Rajasthan. And wet climate, it is the typical climate prevailing in northeast India. Here plenty of rainfall is available, and vegetation is abundant there, animals are there, forests are there. These are the 4 types of climate. Now we have seen the difference between weather and the climate. Weather is the day-to-day atmospheric condition, and climate is the average weather pattern taken over a long period of time. Now, as I told in the beginning of the class, I will show you a picture of the rain gauge and how rainfall is measured in millimeter. At the end of this class, I will send that through a picture. Okay. The picture you see here is a rain gauge. It should be placed in an open area. No tree, no part of building should be above it. The measurement is made in millimeter. It is the height of the water column in the gauge. As you see, the capacity of this rain gauge is 40 millimeter. Some amount of rainwater is collected in the rain gauge shown here. Its amount is 9 millimeter. Usually, in a 24-hour day, maximum rain may vary from 20 millimeter to 30 millimeter. After collecting one day's water, the measurement is recorded and the water is flown out. Then it is ready for the next day's collection. Thus, the total for 1 month is recorded. In rainy season, average rainfall for a month is between 300 millimeter and 500 millimeter. This is how a rain gauge is used.